Welcome to 50 Ways to Succeed at Work, where you hear stuff about ways to succeed even the most well-intentioned colleagues, advisors, careers officers and HR departments may never get around to mentioning. Today's episode is Ask Away from the 50 Ways theme on communicating for success. Asking questions at work is important, and it helps your success prospects if you know what to ask, when to ask, and how to ask it. So let's take a closer look at this first way to succeed. Not seeking help is one of the most frequent faults new employees make. Most people like to give support. Asking them for it shows maturity and confidence. It's a sign of your strength, not weakness. When you ask about something at work, you unleash the often ignored serendipity effect. This is the lucky or unexpected benefits from your action. Who knows exactly where your asking may lead? Let's hear about that from the legendary Steve Jobs of Apple fame.
I've never found anybody that didn't want to help me if I asked them for help. I always call them up. I called up, this will date me, but I called up Bill Hewlett when I was 12 years old, and he lived in Palo Alto. His number was still in the phone book. And he answered the phone himself. He said, yes? He said, hi, I'm Steve Jobs. I'm 12 years old. I'm a student in high school, and I want to build a frequency counter. And he gave me a job that summer in Hewlett-Packard, working on the assembly line, putting nuts and bolts together on frequency counters. He got me a job in the place that built them. And I was in heaven. And I've never found anyone who said no or hung up the phone when I called. I just asked.
So Steve's basic message is don't be afraid to ask. Just pick up the phone, drop them a mail, or walk up to someone at work and, just ask for help. You can't manage everything alone in your job. We all need help occasionally, and accepting it strengthens friendships and builds relationships. So choose carefully who you ask for help from. For example, track down a natural listener, not someone who judges, criticizes, or blames you. Here are a couple of tricky questions to consider. Do you know what might mark you out as a time waster at work? Or worse, brand you as a potential management problem? Got any thoughts on these? Well, the answer is it's being a loner, struggling with work that you can't yet manage, not knowing where to find information, reinventing the wheel, or failing to think through what sort of help you need. Perhaps you're unsure about what questions to ask. In that case, focus on the goals of the people you're working with. What are they struggling to achieve? Do they look as if they could do with some help? When you can't get answers, keep pushing. Knowing what your colleagues are trying to do is a sure way to become valued and respected. There are also some clever ways of asking for help. The wrong way is to appear helpless with vague, hard-to-answer queries. A much better way is to prepare. Your best chance of getting an excellent response from asking at work starts with posing a question to yourself. What is my problem? Can I write it down? Am I sure about what it means, and will someone else understand it? Next, spend some time to decide who can I trust who'll know how to help me. Finally, when you do ask for help, what will you say? Try writing it down and seeing if it makes sense when you read it aloud. When you're seeking help, timing can prove deadly. For example, if you choose to fire questions at someone deep in conversation, you risk being labelled insensitive, even troublesome. Instead, pick a time when they're likely to feel relaxed and able to spend time with you. Framing your question is one task you could usefully spend some time on. How will you approach your question? Will you convey a sense of urgency, a need to know the answer now? Or will you suggest a relaxed sense of curiosity? The best opening may seem of little importance, yet it guides the other person on how best to respond to you. Saying, I need help right now, sounds very different to the other person than, I'm curious about. Lastly, here's one fact that might help you feel a lot better about asking at work. Did you know that the number of questions you ask someone can predict how much they like you afterwards? More questions, more liking. Also, you get better results when you pose follow-up questions on the earlier one, rather than switching to an entirely different issue. So let's summarize with some action. Being willing to ask for help is not a sign of weakness. Prepare your questions so people can easily offer help. And ask your questions when people are likely to be free and relaxed to spend time with you. So what can you take away from all of this? It's that asking for help well is a simple yet profound, even unpredictable way to get what you want at work and in life. You've been listening to an episode of Andrew's 50 Ways to Succeed at Work. If you want to hear more, please subscribe free to my regular weekly podcasts. Visit the50ways.site for transcripts, e-learning, and join a growing community of people who seriously want to succeed at work. Thanks for listening, and bye for now until next week.